Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of the Glitched Out Gaming Podcast. That's right, we're back for another week. Maybe you get some gameplay footage this week. Maybe I've been kind of lazy again and didn't provide any. But anyways, I welcome you to the show this week. We've got one hell of a show to go over, some really fun topics and news to discuss. And of course, joining me, as always, the one, the only, Israel Pacheco.
Yeah.
How you doing this week, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Good to hear, good to hear. Oh, man. Yeah, this week's show should be interesting. We've got quite a few interesting games to talk about that we've been playing. We've got some interesting news to discuss. And in our topic of the week this week, we're going to take a look back at the third quarter of 2015. It's that time of the month again. Time of the year again, I should say. So, let us kick off this show like we always kick off this show with what we've been playing. And Izzy, what's something you've been playing?
So, this is going to be a surprise. The first thing I got here on my list is Destiny the Taken King.
No!
Which, if you guys have listened to our previous podcast, you guys know that I was not a fan of Destiny, but I gave it another shot. Probably a few hours into the Taken King, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed so far. They've turned things around considerably. Like, there's a story there. It's actually interesting and cohesive. The voice acting is really good.
How's
I believe it's he's pretty damn good. What's funny is whenever I hear Nolan North as your ghost, I think of Guilty Spark from the Halo franchise, which is also the small little robot that looks like a ghost from the Halo series. So it kind of reminds me of that, but the voice is a little different. It sounds like Nolan North is doing the voice of David from The Last of Us, but then they just put the the robotic effect on it.
Okay.
But it's good. Like, that low voice. It isn't as creepy as David from The Last of Us. The crazy character in that game. If I'm not mistaken, that's his name, right? David.
Yep.
So that's real good. Better than Peter Dinklage. I was about to say Nolan North again. Nathan Fillion does the voice of Cade Six, which is one of the main characters in the story of the Taken King, and he does an excellent job. He talks to you through your microphone, and you see things in the cutscenes for the story, and it's done really well. It's kind of a return to form for Bungie, similar to the style of storytelling that they did in the Halo franchise back in the day. The gameplay is still excellent, which was a thing that didn't bother me from the original Destiny. I always thought the gameplay was really solid, but in this, it's still super solid. Some new features are introduced, some new items and stuff, and I'm really enjoying it so far. To be honest, I'm looking forward to playing through the rest of the Taken King campaign. I might go back and try the Dark Below and the House of Wolves expansions, which were for the original vanilla Destiny, which I never played. But I'm having a good time with this so far.
Cool.
Yeah.
The first thing on my list, kind of a little throwaway item because I didn't really play much of it, and I'm still ticking away at Until Dawn, trying to go for that platinum. Going through my second playthrough of it now and trying to keep everybody alive this time. Even going back...
Are you using like some sort of guide or something?
I've glanced at a few, and I've watched a few playthroughs at this point, so I've kind of seen where to keep certain characters alive now, so yeah, going that way. I'm still enjoying it, though. That game is still incredible, even after playing it once and watching maybe 3 or 4 playthroughs now of the game.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those games I need to go back and complete.
Yes.
But it looks like it's going to be a while before that happens, especially with stuff that's coming in October and November.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be pretty busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely go back to it before the end of the year and wrap things up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that's one on me. So back to you again.
So back to me, another game that I was not expecting to buy, and I know you're going to be talking about it, and that is Lego Dimensions. Yeah,
I called it.
I caved and I purchased Lego Dimensions. I also purchased the Back to the Future level set, which brings Marty, the DeLorean, and his hoverboard. And then the next day I went and picked up the Jurassic Park, what do they call it? Like starter?
Team pack.
Team pack. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. And yeah, I've been playing a very, very little of it. It was mostly putting things together, all the Lego pieces, which I thought was pretty genius, and it really makes this game stand out in comparison to the other Toys of Life games like Disney Infinity, Skylanders, even Amiibos. I'm really impressed with it. Like I thought it was really cool that the instructions for the building of some of the things come included, and then other things you have to look at the TV screen. Which was funny because I put this game in and immediately there was a patch for it, so I figured let's build this base, which it had the instructions for it. Luckily, I thought I would have to wait to play it in the game, but I built the characters and I sat down with my little brother and we just spent time building the base, and it was just really fun just to put Legos together, like, and it really added to the experience because then you put everything together, put the game in, start it, and put your characters down. It's really smartly integrated in how they did the base, how they did the characters, the way the game interacts with them. Like you move the different characters around the base depending on if there's like some sort of sequence in the game that the character is trying to attack you and you have to move your character. And it's just really well designed. I'm really impressed with it, to be honest. And the toy integration's really smart. It's the best out of all the Toys of Life games. Like I was just talking to you before we started this. I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of my Disney Infinity stuff because I'm not really playing it, to be honest. And the figures take up a lot of room in comparison to the Lego figures, which are Legos. So they're much smaller, much more compact, and just much cooler because you could always take the piece off from the bottom and just play with them as if they were Lego. And they just look really cool. I've only gone through like the intro to the game basically, where it shows you like the different worlds from Batman, Lord of the Rings, and the Lego Movie, and then you go into the first section where it's like the Wizard of Oz. That's the only thing I've tried. I tried a little bit of the Back to the Future. I haven't gotten to the section of the game that they do Jurassic World, so I could do the free roaming with the characters. But it's cool that you could just plop down any of the characters and use them in any levels. Like it's not like Disney Infinity that only certain characters work with, or only certain like story segments and stuff. So it's cool. I wasn't expecting that because I started the game and I was trying to figure out how to build the DeLorean, how to build the hoverboard and all that, and then same thing with the Velociraptor that came in the team pack, and then I put down Owen, and then the prompt came up on the TV and we started building the Velociraptor. It was just really fun. Just sit down with my brother and just piece things together. I'm very surprised with this game, to be honest. I've always really enjoyed the Lego games. I loved Lego Jurassic World earlier in the year. I really didn't think I was gonna like this as much as I'm liking it so far. I am early on in the game, but it seems like they're gonna be pushing out a lot of content for this too. It seems there's like a 3-year plan from what I've heard of starter packs and team packs and level packs and all that. But yeah, I'll kick it over to you, and I want to see what you think about this. I know you're going to be raving about it because you're so hyped about this.
I was, and I have to say my expectations were both met and exceeded with the game. I've played a decent bit more than you have. I've dabbled a little bit in the Back to the Future pack, which I ended up buying myself. So yeah, I've played a little bit of that so far. Never really got too far into it. I've built the
Mhm.
DeLorean, and pretty much after that I stopped. Um, in the game itself, I've gone through the base levels like you have. I've gone through the Wizard of Oz world. I've gone through the Simpsons world, which was
Nice.
incredible. Uh, how they break the fourth wall in the Lego games are amazing, and that level was great because you had one little instant with Homer kind of sleeping, and he
Hmm.
says, "It's not selling out. It's co-branding. It's co-branding," which I died at. I thought it was great. I've watched Game Over Greggy actually play through the Simpsons level pack,
Yeah.
and man, the attention to detail that they go in with the game is insane because they actually took a classic Simpsons level, the chili cook-off one, where Homer eats some bad chili peppers and he goes through this like vision quest type deal. All of that included in the game. Awesome. Which, unlike you, I bought the Portal level pack as well.
Hmm.
And Portal 2 in my top 10 PlayStation 3 games of all time, probably in my top 10 games of all time. I love that game so much. And the amount of like care and love that they put into the Portal pack was incredible. It basically takes place after the events of Portal 2. Uh, they have said that it's not canon to the actual series. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. But it is a continuation, and we may not see Portal 3 for quite some time, if ever.
Ever.
So this is a nice little thing for Portal fans. The puzzles into it were great. They were clever, more scaled down to be, a bit more kid friendly, but still clever and nice. They even included a new end credits song, which was awesome, written by the same guy who did Still Alive and I Want You Gone. So just great, and they brought back the original voice actors as well for GLaDOS. J.K. Simmons is back as Cave Johnson again. The guy who played Wheatley is back again. Just awesome. Like, I am loving everything. And like you said, too, the building aspect. One of the main reasons I went and bought the Back to the Future pack was I wanted to build some more. Like, I thought it was going to be tedious building the portal, and it took me about, I don't know, 50 odd minutes in order to do it, but it
Yeah.
was fun to do, and it was worth the money at the end of the day. And the one thing I've loved that they have said, and it was one of their key selling points for the game as well, is you won't need to buy another starter pack if you don't want to, because the one portal will work with any iteration of the game moving forward. So that's great in my opinion. That is very smart, unlike Disney Infinity or Skylanders where you have to buy a new base every year basically.
Well,
So
you could use the same, but you have to buy like the new version essentially, like the actual software itself.
I
Because
thought you
like
had to buy a different pad too.
no, you could use the same pad. Essentially, you could use the same pad that you use in 1.0 and 2.0 and 3.0. But if you don't have the software, there's nothing you can unlock. There's nothing you can
Okay,
play. So
okay.
that's I guess that's what they meant. That they have like one platform,
Mhm.
and you just buy mission packs and team packs and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Mhm. Okay.
So it doesn't lock you out for future things like it does. Like say I have 3.0 right now.
Mhm.
I can't play stuff from 2.0 or 1.0 because that's locked to the software of those
Okay.
games. So I guess Lego's trying to do it different, which is cool.
Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, overall, absolutely in love with the game. I love the care and attention that they've put into all of the franchises that I've experienced so far. I mean, it was great seeing the DC stuff. Uh, the current level I'm on is the Doctor Who set, or Doctor Who
Hmm.
levels in the main game, and just like the opening to that was so fantastic. It kind of felt like a Doctor Who episode, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm loving the game. We will probably be talking about Lego Dimensions for the next like
For
five
a
or six
long time.
podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a while because it's funny that you mentioned the building aspect again. I just pretty much threw on some music and just started building stuff. Like I had the Jurassic Park music playing while I was building the Jurassic Park set, then the Back to the Future music. Then when I was building the Portal, I just put on like OC Remix and just started hearing a bunch of different video game remixes. And it was just kind of like a Zen state where you just relax putting these things together. And I bought this game too so I could play it in co-op with my little brother because that's how I like to play the Lego games. And just
Yeah.
building things together was just so awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely in love with the game.
I'm gonna spend so much money.
Save here. When I picked up the Back to the Future pack yesterday, I was at Toys R Us and I was just looking at everything. It was like, oh, I want you and you and you. Don't really care about the Ninjago stuff, but I'm probably going to buy you in order to get the trophies for it.
Yeah, if they I don't know if they've announced like a Ninja Turtles thing, but I know there are Lego Ninja Turtles, so that'd be really cool. They announced Ghostbusters, right? That's one of like the second or third wave. I can't remember what.
Second wave, I think it's.
Is that like a level pack or just? I don't know if it's just a team pack or a level pack or what it is.
There is a level pack and a team pack. I'm looking at the poster that came with the game. Yeah.
I'm buying that. I gotta look this up now. I gotta see the... I'm gonna spend so much money on this shit. Yeah. I think it's so much cooler, to be honest, because it's Legos. Like, it's just awesome. And it gives me an excuse, because I have a rule when it comes to, like, figures and toys. Like, they have to be video game themed for me to get them, because that's what I display in my room, so I don't want, like... me to have a statue from like Pacific Rim or something because it's out of place in terms of my theme for my room.
Right.
But this is a complete excuse for me to get this because technically it is a video game. So
yeah, exactly. And what I love, just going back to like the Portal 2 stuff, where the fuck else am I going to get like Portal 2 Legos? I have a Lego turret now. I am so happy. And a Lego companion cube. That's awesome.
There's stuff. Yes. The slime. Oh man.
Well,
anyway, we better move on before.
Yes. Just another quick.
That's right.
I'll do another quick one. Super Mario Maker. I've been playing more of that. Created a couple more levels, and I've actually put in 21 hours and 46 minutes into the game now.
Jeez.
Still enjoying it. Still loving that game so much. The Nintendo levels, though, as you said.
Yeah, talk about that, because I know people are probably thinking that I'm crazy when I'm talking about that.
Nah, Izzy was right. It's they're pretty scaled back, and as I was playing them, I'm like, yeah, this is just showing you stuff you could potentially put into your levels.
Yeah, they're just templates pretty much, like you said, of things to do. And that is the other game that I've been playing. I actually tried out 2 of your levels, and I couldn't beat either. I gave up. I need to go back to it, and I'm still planning to probably do that Let's Play sometime. Because I tried to record it, but then like the weather messed up, and I wasn't getting good lighting on my camera and all that, so it'll happen sometime in the future.
I look forward to that.
I'm looking at more Lego Dimension packs. I'm looking at the Joker and Harley now. Comes out in January?
Yep.
Jesus. I'm going to spend... I could already see how much money I'm going to spend. The Midway one, when does that one come out? That comes out in March. Damn it. Anyway.
Yeah. Moving on. Something else you've been playing.
That's it for me. I haven't been playing much else. It was just, Destiny, Lego, and Super Mario Maker. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Well, I've got one more on my list, and that is a game that, as of right now, I have put in 26 hours and 18 minutes into, and that is Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls, in which I have finished my first playthrough of that game. And I said it earlier in the year when we were discussing future Game of the Year contenders.
Hmm.
It's up there now. I mean, Fallout 4 has to do something insanely special for me to knock Danganronpa out of the running.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it wasn't going to be up there, honestly, because it was more of a spin-off.
kind of, yes.
So I wasn't expecting you to have the same reaction you had
I
to the previous games.
Yeah, I wasn't either because it's not the visual novel type style, so I wasn't expecting that much of a connection to it. But man, the story was there. It filled in so many gaps. It covered so many questions that were left unanswered. Like in the first game, one of the what was it called? Motivations that Monokuma had for the school kids was, he took away like various family members and was going to pit them into killing each other if the kids didn't kill one another. In this game, you actually find out about all of these like family members or friends that were taken hostage. As an example, I think I said this on last week's episode, you play as the younger sister of the main character in the first game. And she's just a normal person. Absolutely normal. She has no ultimate skill, nothing like that. And as the game progresses, you actually, you start to be endeared to her and whatnot. Minor spoilers here for people who haven't played the first game yet. The other character that you use in the game that's tagging along with your main character is Toko. I cannot pronounce her last name now to save my life, but it's Toko, aka the serial killer Genocide Jack, or Genocide Jill, whichever name you want to use for her. She's your sidekick, and she's a character that's not really that confident in herself. She has a insane kind of mad crush on one of the other main characters from the first game, and still does, and that's her main motivation in this game. But man, the story going with these two characters is so great as you see the character development from when they first meet to how they end off in the game is just, it's beautiful. It's actually really beautiful. And for those who follow me on Twitter might have noticed some things I was saying about the game. Like, it got insanely dark at a few moments. The enemies you're fighting in the game are kids, they are kids who have all experienced various trauma, ranging from being, beaten by their parents, or being sexually assaulted by their parents, or being, like, abandoned, or being forced into, like, extreme studying and whatnot, trying to live up to high expectations and whatnot. And even though they're like sick and twisted, you kind of learn about them and you feel sorry for them and whatnot. It went to some dark places, but it worked really well. It also went to some creepy, full-on Japan moments where, yeah, I'm just going to say tentacles. That's all.
How did I know?
Yeah.
I was about to say that. I was like, any tentacles.
It got weird, but then I have to say, like, one moment in the game, and it was played out in an anime CGI cutscene, which was so beautiful. Like, it was so beautiful and sweet. It brought a tear to my eye, to be honest with you. That was a rough night, playing through that scene and then watching the season finale of School Live, but that's a conversation for a whole other podcast right there. But yeah, it was beautiful. Like, I was really surprised at how, like, heartwarming it was. It was probably the most heartwarming scene in any of the Danganronpa games. And that kind of played out again, like, at the end of the game, which was really nice. And I can't say enough good things about this game. It is so well done. The story, if you were worried about it, that it wasn't going to live up to the first two games, don't be. It is. It is an absolutely fantastically driven narrative. Like, it is phenomenal. The gameplay is great. It's solid. It's a third-person shooter. It's not... there goes a motorcycle outside. It's nothing, incredible, but it's well done. It's balanced. It works. It's good. It will drive you along. And personally, right now, I'm playing through again to get the rest of the collectibles and grind out the few trophies where I need to buy a bunch of shit. I'm going for the platinum in this one, and yeah, I'm loving every minute of it, even though I'm playing through it now for a second time.
That's great to hear. I didn't think you were going to like it that much.
Yeah, like, it's great, and as of right now, it's a definite, absolute definite for my top 3, at least for this year. Like, it will not be any lower than number 3.
Nice.
So, yeah, we've talked a lot about the games
Half
we've been
an hour
playing.
later.
Yeah, so, let's get out of the been playing section and dive into the news. And Izzy, why don't you tell us about our first little batch of news that comes from the Microsoft section?
We're talking about Xbox positively?
I know, it's crazy.
I know, it's crazy. So yeah, Microsoft has just announced their new Xbox One Holiday Bundle, which is going to retail for $399. And for that price, you're going to get a 1 terabyte system, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Rare Replay, and Ori and the Blind Forest, all for $399. And of course, it's the controller with the new 3.5 millimeter jack, so you could just plug in a headset to the bottom. That's a good-ass deal. And
that's an incredible deal.
And I was just talking to you before the show that I was going to talk about this, and Microsoft is trying so hard this fall, because I just pulled up their website. I'm just going to quickly read through all the bundles that they have, which is crazy. All right, they have the Xbox One Elite Bundle, which goes for $499, so that's like the premium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another premium one, the Xbox One Halo 5 Guardians Limited Edition, also $499, which is, all nicely decked out in the Spartan Lock custom Xbox One. They have another one which was just announced, the Xbox One Rise of the Tomb Raider bundle, which brings Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Tomb Raider, I believe a 1 terabyte hard drive for $399. They have the Holiday Bundle, which we just talked about. They have the Madden 16 bundle. That's 1 terabyte. It brings Madden 16 and a year of EA access. They have the Forza bundle, which is also 1 terabyte. It's custom design, blue, Forza 6 included. They have the Gears of War Ultimate Edition bundle, which is a 500 gig unit, brings Gears of War Ultimate. They have the FIFA 1 terabyte bundle, which is $399, brings FIFA and 1 year of EA access. Last and definitely least is the Xbox One Plus Connect bundle, which is $499. So that is a lot of variety, and they said they're going to keep announcing more, if I'm not mistaken, bundles leading into the holiday season. So this is pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah.
If Xbox does not pull ahead in terms of sales this holiday season, they're going to have a problem on their hands, because they're going all in. And back to the original story with this holiday bundle, this is a good-ass deal.
Yeah.
These were games that I actually wanted to buy an Xbox One for, and I did it in August, and I got Rare Replay and Gears of War Ultimate. Ori and the Blind Forest I haven't picked up yet, but that's a good-ass deal. And even the Tomb Raider one that brings Rise of the Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, it's crazy. They're trying super hard. This one. This doesn't even include their Black Friday bundles, which I'm sure are going to be even more ridiculous. So, super props to Microsoft and how they've turned things around, thanks to Phil Spencer being the head over there of really analyzing everything and turning things around. It's really quite impressive what they've done the past year and a half or so.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, if I had the money, I'd probably be tempted for that holiday bundle, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't really care about Gears of War, but Ori and the Blind Forest and Rare Replay, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, there's some good-ass deals, man. Yeah, so that's it for that news story. I just wanted to give props to everybody over at Xbox, because they're doing fantastic job so far.
Yep. All right, well, with the good news comes the downright hilarious news. Our second story here. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 download is just 4.6 gigabytes. But that's not the hilarious part, folks, because the first update for the game is actually bigger in size. That's right. The first update tops out at 7.7 gigabytes. Nearly double the size of the game itself. What?
Oh man, I need to send you this now because it's priceless that we're talking about this. Hold up.
Okay.
This is coming from Kotaku.
Okay. Pro Skater 5 fails. Alright, it's loading. Whenever it clicked on... No, there we go. Behold the terrible Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Oh my god.
This game is terrible. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I know there were so many people that were like hyped up for this game so much. I mean, it came out of nowhere. Apparently it's a glitchy mess, no surprise. This is just a cash grab, let's be honest.
It really is, man.
Anybody buying this game for more than $10, you're crazy. Absolutely insane. Yeah.
It's oh man, it's so sad how far the series has fallen from grace, to be honest, because those games on PlayStation and PlayStation 2 back in the day, and Xbox and GameCube, and they were on other platforms, are so fantastic. I loved 1, I loved 2. I skipped 3 and 4, but then I jumped back in when they started doing the Thug one, the underground ones.
Yeah.
1 and 2. And then after that, it just kind of went downhill. Then they tried the whole peripheral gimmick with the skateboard, which was terrible with Tony Hawk Ride. They went in a good direction with the downloadable remake of 1 and 2, which was about $15-20 a few years ago. That was on 360, PS3, and PC.
Yeah.
And that actually looked better than Pro Skater 5, to be honest, because when I first saw Pro Skater 5, it looked like a PS2 game.
It really did.
And that's not me over-exaggerating either. Like, it looked bad, and then they changed the art style to cel-shaded. Supposedly what I'm reading on the internet, press has not gotten any review copies whatsoever. The game launched today on the day we're recording this. It's, oh man, why can't... They should have just not did this at all or released it as a downloadable game because it would have done a lot better. $15-20, I probably would have bought it even if it's terrible. Yeah. But it's retailing for $59.99 US, and I know up in Canada it's probably even more because of the Canada tax.
Let me just check here because I'm... Oh, wait, no, it's right on the front page of evgames.ca. A lot of games right now have been priced at, either $69.99. They're moving it at that now, boosting it up to, just example, Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. It's $74.99 here in Canada.
Christ.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, $79.99.
Wow. Oh, it's so sad because really those first few games are classic. Like. I remember picking up the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater when it hit Greatest Hits on the original PlayStation and just playing the crap out of it that summer. I think I got it had to be summer 2000. And I was in Puerto Rico staying over there. My cousins had just moved from Texas down there, and we just popped in Pro Skater. We played the crap out of the game. Like, the level design, the trick system, the soundtrack was awesome. Like, it was so, late 90s, early 2000s, like, that whole time period. Like, it just fit in so well. And then they just... I have no hope for Guitar Hero either. If they've done this to Pro Skater, like, how they're going to treat Guitar Hero when that comes out. Yeah. Which was another one of Activision's franchises that kind of went away for a while. Because they milked it to the ground like they did with Tony Hawk, and it looks like Tony Hawk is dead after this. Like, there's no coming back. It's terrible. It really, and for the, the download to be nearly double the size of the actual game, and for the game to be that small of size, you could tell this was intended as a downloadable title at one point. But they wanted to get greedy and charge full price for it, $59.99. Crazy.
Yeah, insane. Oh, well, let's move out of this. Why don't you tell us about our next news story?
So the next news story we have here is some release date information for the next Hitman title, which of course I believe we talked about maybe a week or two ago on the last show, that the game had been delayed to March of next year. It's coming out March 11th on PC, PS4, Xbox One. It's originally supposed to come out in December. And the developers are pretty much saying that they're going to be having more content available at release, and then they're going to spread out the content over time, which hasn't really been done before in a Hitman game. I don't know what to compare this to. I guess when I was listening to the Outlaw Gamer show, Brent compared it to like The Walking Dead, like Season Pass, where they give you like one chunk at the beginning with one episode and they just piecemeal things, at the end. But it's going to be $60 when that comes out, and then there's going to be March content for $35. So extra pack for 30. So it definitely is not like the season pass of The Walking Dead. They're trying to milk this to the ground.
Well, I mean, you can buy the base game for normal price and you get everything, or you can buy just the base set for I think $35, and you can buy the extra stuff for like $30 if you want to. That's what I thought it was.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of misread this here, but yeah, it seems that's what they're trying to do, and there's going to be a beta sometime if you pre-order the game on PC and PS4. I don't know, it's been really, the messaging for this game has been really confusing.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should have just came out the gate and kind of explained everything in detail. Now they're kind of, going back and trying to explain things more thoroughly, but I think at this point we were just confused. Well, at least I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as what people thought it was going to be like. I mean, I think this kind of makes sense. Like, I'm glad that you don't have to buy the full game. You can buy just like the base set if you want to. And then if you want the extra stuff, the extra missions and whatnot, you can pay the extra $30 and you get everything, essentially.
Or you could just wait for the Game of the Year edition or whatever.
Exactly.
It would have made more sense for me, personally, if when they originally announced this, they were like, okay, the game comes out in March, and that's going to be 50% of the content or something, right? And then they're like, in June, we will add another 25%. In August, we will add another 25%. By the end of the year, we'll bundle everything together. Like, if they would at least given you some sort of timetable for this, but they're not doing that. You know how basically map packs do that for like Call of Duty, right? Yeah. They'll announce the map packs in the first one, and they'll tell you the next one comes in 3 months, and the one after that comes in another 3 months. Something like that. I just kind of think it's been weird that they're trying to reboot Hitman with this, and it's kind of weird, their messaging. But that maybe that's just me.
Yeah. I don't think it's too bad. Alright, so going into our final news story this week for all my fellow Japanophiles, we got some more Star Ocean 5 details and a few screenshots as well from Gamitsu. So Square Enix has released a new set of details for Star Ocean Infinity and Faithlessness, providing an updated prologue, character profiles, and information on the game's battle system. We won't go over all of this here, but as for the prologue, this is what they have written. Do the depths of space forbid peace for mankind? Centuries after leaving Earth, a multitude of trials with the creation and spread of the Galactic Federation, humanity was on the verge of unified order and peace. But the embers of conflict have begun to burn again. Over 6,000 light years from Earth, on the unsettled planet Facede, just as so many times before, the waves of history begin from a remote planet. The Lycia Kingdom, a continent representative of a major power, it is surrounded on 3 sides, has a warm climate, and is blessed with natural beauty and rich soil. But despite the fact that this country should have been more powerful than its neighbors, its people's peace was always being disturbed. Between a spell mark that caused animals to turn ferocious and a band of thieves called Etrion wreaking havoc in the frontier regions. It was plunged into an unstable period known as the Dark 7 Years. Creative. Star, a village located on the southern edge of the kingdom, was brought to the verge of collapse. One young man stood up to face this crisis. The main character, Fidel, I think that's the main character anyway. Nope, it's not. Never mind. One guy stood up for the cause. His father was a royal fencing instructor, and he himself is a swordsman who teaches. He leaves on a journey accompanied by his old friend who was raised as his sibling, Miki. This voyage would take them into battle and change the fate of the stars. So we got some information on the planets and that. Actually, no, that was the main character. My bad. I scrolled down to the next one below this. We got information on the main characters, their age, their weapon, their origins, etc. And we got some information on the battle system there as well, which looks to be like kind of the same battle system as previous Star Ocean games. We got light attacks, heavy attacks, guards, guard counters, etc. Star Ocean is due out on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 in Japan on February 25th, and for PlayStation 4 in North America and Europe in 2016. In Japan, the game will also be available in an Ultimate Box Edition. So, yeah. Everything about that game keeps looking better and better, and I cannot wait for it.
Yeah, I've never played any of the Star Ocean games, so kind of lost. To be honest.
It's a great blend between sci-fi and fantasy. Really, really cool. I would consider it kind of be a mix of Final Fantasy with Star Wars, to be honest with you.
That's interesting.
Alright, so that does it for the main news. We do have a random news roundup this week, which I will go through a little bit quickly, and we just can discuss a couple of them if you want to. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash is releasing November 20th, and it will be $50. Among the Sleep releasing December 10th on PlayStation 4. Mighty Number 9 is launching February 9th as of right now.
2017.
Probably, yeah. Konami says that Metal Gear series can continue without Kojima. Bullshit. Hashtag fuck Konami. One Piece Burning Blood is headed for PlayStation 4, Vita, and Xbox One. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, will have an install size of 44.46 gigabytes on PlayStation 4. Fallout 4 won't have time-exclusive DLC. And horror artist Junji Ito was involved with Silent Hill, so just another reason to say fuck Konami.
Some F Konami news.
Yeah. Sorry, Jim, for stealing your bit.
Yeah, he's stealing his gimmick. But Mario Tennis, fail should be $40. Among the Sleep, I have no idea what that is.
That is a very interesting horror game. You actually play a 2-year-old child in that.
Among the Sleep. Let me look that up real quick. So I have never heard about it. The first kind of looks a little bit like strange. Anyway, keep going down. Mighty Number 9. Yep, this is not coming out. Kojima, Metal Gear without Kojima. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Konami. They're not getting my support at all.
Nope.
One Piece, cool. they keep releasing these games like every 6 months, but
I love that it's coming to the Vita as well.
is this another one of the Omega Force games, like the Pirate Warriors, or is this something completely different?
I think it's like that. Yeah, it's a fighting game. I'm pretty sure.
All right. Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. Not surprising because all PS4 like first party stuff is pretty big in size,
Hmm.
except Tearaway, which was really small. Fallout 4. That's cool that it has no timed exclusive, but I'm still not interested in that game for whatever reason. I know you're dying to play it.
Oh yes.
Horror artist Junji Ito being involved with Silent Hills. It's like they just shut up already. Like Guillermo del Toro, like just be quiet. Like they're saying too much stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes me want the game even more, and it's not gonna happen. So
Yeah,
like,
give it time. Him and Kojima will go on Kickstarter, and they'll do it in a year's time.
I think they could get somebody big to publish this. You know, I don't think they even have to go to Kickstarter.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, Sony, Microsoft, or hell, even Nintendo, just throw money at Kojima, like, make a game!
but yeah. Yeah, that's about it for the roundup.
Alright, so with that, it is time to go into our topic of the week.
Toss, toss, toss. We gotta update it now.
Yeah.
You gotta rip off their new stuff.
Alright, so our topic this week, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, we're going to take a look back at the third quarter of 2015, so the months of July, August, and September, and what were the top reviewed games, what were the notable releases, what our favorite titles was, and probably our biggest surprise and our biggest disappointment. So, let us kick this off with the top 10 highest reviewed games according to Metacritic, everybody's favorite website.
A baker's dozen.
Alright, so at number 1, no surprise, it's Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, which got review scores of 96 on Xbox One, 94 on PC, and 93 on PlayStation 4. At number 2, we have Super Mario Maker for the Wii U with a score of 88. Tying that, we have, at number 3, Pro Evolution Soccer, another Konami game, coming in with reviews of 88 on PlayStation 4, 85 on Xbox One, and an 82 on PC, which I question, what?
Yeah.
Seriously? Gotta double check on that one to see where those scores went to. Because for people who don't know, the PC port was actually the PS3, Xbox 360 versions.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 4, also tying with 88, we have NBA 2K16 with on PS4 with 88, and no scores yet for Xbox One and PC on Metacritic. Granted, we're still doing this in the month of September, so they are updating this shit as we speak. Coming in number 5 with a score of 87, we have Forza 6 on the Xbox One. Coming in at number 6, we have Rocket League with 85 on PC and 84 on PlayStation 4. Coming in at number 7 is a name I'm going to butcher, and that's Zin... with a PC... Oh, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Zinzistik...
Zenzik? Yeah.
Yeah. Christ almighty, with a PC score of 85. At number 8, we have Soma with a PC score of 85 and a PS4 score of 78. Coming in at number 9, we have Rare Replay with a score of 85. And at number 10, we have Madden NFL 16 with a score of 85 on Xbox One and 83 for PS4. So,
there's a lot of sports games.
Yeah. Yep. Glad to see Rocket League up there. Well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised that we got 2 Konami games up there. I mean, over the past 3 months, how much, like, ourselves, Jim, every other media outlet have butchered Konami, and they still have 2 of the top rated games of the month, or last 3 months of the year, really.
I know it's crazy because Pro Evolution Soccer. I just got asked about that game at work today. I was like, we don't carry that. We carry FIFA because it's much more of a niche game.
Mm-hmm.
At least here in the States. In Europe, I'm sure it's a lot more common because
Yeah.
that series sells very well in the UK from what I've heard. So yeah, it's crazy. They have two of the top three games,
Mm-hmm.
at least in this quarter.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the highest rated games of the year, if not the highest rated.
Yeah.
Probably what's close to that, The Witcher, Batman.
I believe The Witcher was. I can do a quick check on that.
Yeah,
You can
give
keep
it a
going.
quick check. Bloodborne, maybe? I don't think Bloodborne was that high up, though, was it? What other big releases? Because everything else kind of fell short. Like Dying Light, I know wasn't. It was solid. Same thing with the Order
Oh,
1886, but
well, from the last time we did this, it's actually been updated a bit as well. Coming in at number 1 right now is Undertale on PC, which got a score of 97.
how haven't I heard of that? And it's like the highest reviewed game of the year.
It came out September 15th. I know Jim Sterling has talked about it quite extensively on his stuff. Let's see. Undertale, Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC got a
Oh
96.
my god. That doesn't count.
Yeah. The Witcher 3 had a 94. Bloodborne got a 92. Yeah, those are the highest ones there. Shovel Knight on PS4 got a 90. Mario Kart 8 DLC Pack 2 got a 90.
That's interesting. Anyway, I guess back to the discussion we were having.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Soma, I haven't played. I've heard some interesting things about it. But after being disappointed by one of the games that we'll talk about here in a little bit, I was hesitant on picking this up, especially since it's somewhat in the same genre, even if this is sci-fi horror, it is in the walking simulator genre. I haven't played it, so that it might be disrespectful towards the game. But sports, Madden, NFL, NBA, Pro Evolution Soccer, not really into that. Rocket League was pretty good. I didn't play it for that long, but I did try it out because of PlayStation Plus. I recorded some footage of it. Metal Gear, definitely agree with that. Mario Maker, I don't
would
agree
with that.
but we'll get into that in a little bit. Which I guess we could get into the other subsection that you have here, which are notable releases in the top 10 that weren't in the top 10.
Yep.
FIFA 16 was highest rated on Xbox One, 85. I know my buddy Me Dylan would not agree with all the problems he's been having with disconnects every time he plays online, which is pretty ridiculous. Runbow, which is 83, Wii U exclusive indie game, which I've heard some things about this through the Go Nintendo podcast.
Yeah, I one of the reasons I put it on here was because I felt sorry for the Wii U, to be honest with you. And that's actually the first, I saw a couple of trailers and gameplay for that. It's actually a 9-player game for the Wii U, which is insane. And yeah, there's a ton of indie game character.
Oh, this is the one, right? That's got Shovel Knight and the SteamWorld Dig and all these other characters.
That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah, I recognize the name, but I couldn't put an image to it. But that's pretty cool. Moving on down the list, Disney Infinity 3.0, highest rated on PS4 with an 83. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, 82, Xbox One exclusive. King's Quest Chapter 1, A Night to Remember, highest rated on PC, 82. Tearaway Unfolded, 82, PS4 exclusive. These reviewers are high. Should be 99. Skylanders Superchargers, highest rated on PS4, 82. Lego Dimensions highest rated on PS4 81. God of War 3 Remastered 81 on PS4.
Let's just be clear here. These are the ratings as of September 29th.
Okay, yeah. As of
There are still more reviews going up for Lego Dimensions, so it could move up or
could
down.
change, yeah. Until Dawn 79, PS4 exclusive, of course. NHL 16 highest rated on PS4 79. Persona 4 Dancing All Night 79, Vita exclusive. Hatsune Miku Project Mirai DX. I had a little trouble with that one. Highest, I was about to say highest rated. It's a 3DS exclusive. What am I talking about? 78. Everybody's Gone to the Crapture. PS4 exclusive 78. Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls 72 Vita. I'm surprised it's that low.
Yeah.
How did the other ones in comparison rate? Were they in the 80s?
Let me go back to Metacritic.
Yeah, because I don't. I know they're pretty well regarded.
Same thing as like the Lego Dimensions and that. The reviews are still coming in, so.
Okay.
The first one got an 80 and the second one got an 81.
Okay, so yeah, not too bad. But I know a lot of people who play them really enjoy them, so maybe that kind of skews my perception, especially with you being a huge fan. Of course, all the other people that I've heard.
I'm looking on here right now, and as far as the reviews go, there are 14 in the green right now. As far as like 75 right up to 100. IGN Spain gave it a 75. Gaming Age gave it 100.
Jeez.
The user score right now is an 8.6 on there. So, yeah. I would say that one's going to go up a bit more.
Not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah. So, yeah, a ton of great games came out. I mean, it didn't feel like there was a whole lot for quarter three, but I think we got quite a bit in September.
I definitely bought a whole lot. Shit. I bought a whole lot within like August and September, so.
And just a note here for the listener, I did exclude stuff like Destiny because I consider the Taken King just to be another expansion.
Yeah, it really is. It's like it isn't a hard like Destiny 2. It's an improvement. Plus, Destiny's like an MMO, so.
Yeah, quite a bit there. I mean, it was a fair few good months. So that brings us into our next little subset here, which was our favorite releases from quarter three. Mine are pretty simple. Until Dawn, Danganronpa, another episode, Mario Maker, Lego Dimensions, and Rocket League all stand out for me. And probably Persona 4 Dancing All Night once I get around to actually purchasing that game.
Nice. For me, it's pretty much Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain on PS4. And the second one here is Mad Max, which I need to put more time into, but what I've played, I've enjoyed. I'm trying to think what else came out within the same time period. Lego, I haven't played enough of that to really judge it. Same thing with Destiny, the Taken King. Like, I'm very early in those games. Like, at least Mad Max, even if I haven't played too much, I'm 4 or 5 hours in. So that's a decent chunk compared to probably like an hour or less for Lego and a little more of an hour for, so.
Another one for me, which I forgot to find on my list here, was episode 4 of Life is Strange. That because as we talked about back when I played it, that actually turned that game into like a Game of the Year contender for me.
Yeah, so. I've heard good things about that. I might check it out when all of them release. Maybe when I have some downtime in December, when finally things dry up before they pick back up in January, February. I might check that out. Because I've heard good things about it.
Cool. So that brings us into our last little part here, which I thought would be fun to include this time around, and that's our biggest surprise and our biggest disappointment. So as far as biggest surprise goes, for me, it was easy. Mario Maker, like I did not think I was going to get into that game leading up to the release. I was kind of lukewarm onto it. So
21 hours later.
yeah, 21 hours later and about 5 or 6 courses made. I'm loving that game. So yeah, it came out of nowhere and surprised the hell out of me. I'm loving it.
Yeah, for me, one that I already just spoke about, and that's Mad Max. For somebody who didn't grow up with the films or haven't seen the original films, I've just seen Fury Road. I do want to check out the old films, but I had seen this very early on. I remember close to the reveal and launch of the PS4. Like I
Hmm.
remember this being like one of the big trailers that they had. I might have been at first E3 after the PS4 after the event that they had. But I thought it was cool, but I was like, really? They're making a Mad Max game? It feels kind of strange, but of course, Fury Road is about to come out. It made sense in terms of the cross promotion. Um, and yeah, a lot of people were really lukewarm and very harsh on this game, so that kind of helped it too. And being my biggest surprise, I know my buddy CJ. I told him, I'm like, you gotta check out Mad Max, and now he's just in love with it. Like he's way past where I am in the game. Like he just went super deep into Mad Max. He's like, this game is awesome, and like we were talking about like what reviewers thought about it, and it kind of was all over the place. It was from like the highest I saw was probably like an 8 or a 9, and the lowest I saw was like a 3 or 4. I
Hmm.
know Jim Sterling gave it like a 3 or 4. Um,
Yeah.
I love Jim, but I disagree with him on that. Um, I don't think it's nearly that bad. But yeah, that's my biggest surprise.
Hmm. And on to the biggest disappointment, which I think we both
Yeah,
have
we
for
both
this
have the
one,
same one. Yep.
but I think we have different opinions onto it, though.
Yeah, at the level of opinions. I know you
Yeah.
like this one more than I did.
Hmm.
And that is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. I remember being very intrigued ever since this game was originally announced. I really like the footage that I originally saw for it and the concept for the game. But for me, the execution was really off, as we were talking about earlier, the whole walking simulator.
Hmm.
Um, that kind of turned me off. I've talked about it before, but I got lost towards the end of my play session, and I just kind of gave up. There wasn't too much to do. It did have some interesting things and some interesting moments. Like I remember we specifically talked about the moment you go into the church
Hmm.
and the moments where everything goes dark and you start to see like those looks like fireflies or different lights in the air, which were really beautiful moments. But for me, overall, the execution was just off. I know a lot of people were raving about this game, but it just didn't click with me whatsoever. Definitely um, my most disappointing of the game, my most disappointing game of the year thus far. I'm sure it'll probably be towards the end of the year. I can't see anything coming out that might super underdeliver as much as Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Sure, I'm hopeful for Star Wars Battlefront. I'm hopeful for the new WWE game. I'm hopeful for Halo,
Hmm.
Tomb Raider. I don't think anything's gonna underdeliver as much as this one did for me. But I know you didn't like it, but you liked it more
I
than
like,
I did.
yeah, I enjoyed moments into it. I thought the music was probably the best soundtrack I've listened to in any game this year, but yeah, it was kind of like too slow paced and the story still didn't make much sense even by the end of it. But it had its moments. There were a few moments in that game where I actually stood back and was like, wow, that was actually really beautiful. And I enjoyed that. But yeah, overall it was kind of lacking. Uh, yeah, it was okay. It's fine. That's what I can say about
Yeah,
it.
it wasn't
It was
memorable.
fine.
Yeah, like to me, it just wasn't memorable. I was going into this game thinking maybe it could be another Journey, which is
Yeah,
ridiculously high expectations. I
yeah.
probably shouldn't have put those expectations on this game,
Hmm.
especially Journey being one of, if not my favorite game ever. Um, the expectations were high about this, and I hadn't played their games before this, like Dear Esther and uh, what's that? The pig game. I always forget the name of that game.
Amnesia.
Yeah, that one. Like I didn't play, and that's why I was talking about Soma, and I was like, eh. I know it wasn't exactly the same team, but I know they collaborated on some of the
Hmm.
games before it. Um, I know Amnesia, I believe it was a collaboration between the Chinese Room and then the team that did Soma. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. But it's kind of confusing what each team did. But yeah, it just really under-delivered for me. Like you said, the music was fantastic. The story was very disjointed.
Hmm.
Um, I know, like I remember like how Beyond Two Souls came out. Everybody gave that game crap because the story was disjointed, but
Hmm.
by the end, it made sense within the context of the game. In this, it sort of makes sense. I understand that people have been like I don't know disintegrated or just disappeared by whatever this is, this virus or human creation that got out that's leaking through the electronics like TV, radio, and telephones and all that. That's what I got out of the game. I really didn't understand it, which could be a good thing and sometimes the mystique and mystery surrounding the story of the game. But I just think it wasn't executed as well
Hmm.
as I would have liked it to be.
Yep. Totally agree with you. And yeah, that pretty much does it here for this topic of the week. I mean, we'll be back in about 3 months' time to discuss quarter four,
Yeah.
which right now is looking insane, absolutely insane, and it's going to be really interesting to see where certain titles fall onto like the top 10 reviewed games for those 3 months. Um, but yeah,
There's a
yeah,
lot of stuff.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. Questions and comments, we have none, but please guys send us some questions and comments. We'll gladly answer them, gladly talk about your comments. Give us things to talk about and discuss on the show here. Before we lead into the normal outro, I just want to say a couple of things that I've been thinking about doing with the podcast moving forward.
Sure.
For the month of October, you know, Halloween's coming up. It's kind of the month where everybody talks about spooky games. I figure in our discussions coming up, we can discuss some things like horror games and stuff like that, especially leading up closer to the 31st of October. And come around January time, I mean, we're bound to do an episode where we talk about our best of or favorites of. So maybe we'll do like an award show themed
Hmm.
episode of the podcast. Where
Sounds
maybe we'll,
interesting. A
yeah,
little different.
yeah, where we'll even ask you guys to like give us your favorites for the year. Maybe we'll even do some polls where you can vote on what's possibly your game of the year, best story of the year, etc., etc. We'll probably still do a better job than the video game awards do. Suck on that, Jeff Keighley. But yeah, Izzy, why don't you take us away? That's pretty much all I have to say.
So yeah, that just threw me off. Poor Jeff Keighley. Game trailers is this is just like a side thing, but I wonder how game trailers is doing nowadays because it seems like their exposure has really gone down within the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of a side note, but anyway. Um, anyway, everybody, or I should say, this is Botch Fest. Just put in one of those botch pictures that you put in. But thank you everybody for checking out this week's episode of the podcast. Let us know in the comment section down below, if you will, please, because nobody ever does. What are your thoughts on any of the topics we discuss from all of the new Xbox One bundles, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, ridiculous download size, some of the news roundup. Metal Gear Solid without Kojima, yeah, right. Some of your favorite games from the third quarter of 2015. Maybe some of your most disappointing games of the year. For Lord X, I am Izzy, and this week we are glitching out once again.
Hit the lever!